Welcome back to Lost for Words with Lori. Happy Monday. Boy, rainy days and Mondays. It's not raining here, but it is still Monday. It's October 10th. It is the morning, and we're back at it. We're back to the grind, right? First, want to just kind of give a quick shout out. I know a lot of people have today off. Our people to the north, our Canadian brothers and sisters, are celebrating Canadian Thanksgiving. So I want to wish a happy Thanksgiving to all of my Canadian friends. It is also Indigenous Peoples Day here in the United States, formerly known as Columbus Day. And I'm not going to get into that whole rabbit hole of garbage that goes along with um, yeah, that, genocide of our indigenous people, which is disgusting. But hopefully you're having a day of rest, a day of reflection, a day of thankfulness to my brothers and sisters in the North. I am still working, so there's no rest for the wicked here. Um, Basically, I want to say, first of all, sincerest grateful and gratitude. I'm blown away by all of the wonderful new people who have decided to come over and drop some comments and support and give me some love and share my thoughts with all of the rest of the platforms and the social medias. I'm blown away, absolutely humbled by all the support and the great things that people are leaving for me, and letting me know, and all of you who read those comments, how much they're learning from my journey and from the things that I go through. So I'm really grateful for that, and I cannot express my appreciation enough for all of you great people who are free thinkers and who are wanting to be the best versions of themselves and listen to my journey as I see it, because a lot of it is pretty negative. And the best lessons are learned from the struggles, right? From the things that we go through that get us to think critically, to turn around and be introspective about our first world and about the things that we are enduring in our lives and our personal lives, and doing a lot of shadow work on ourselves, to be the best versions of ourselves that we can, which is what I am struggling and striving to do every day. This is a really tough time of year for me. A lot of milestones are being hit. A lot of memories are coming up. We're hitting a lot of those milestones, these things of trauma, these events, these circumstances that teach us a lot of really valuable lessons, and a lot of them are very painful. But that's the great thing about having this journal, this diary for me, is to be able to go back and look at those things, to start at the beginning, and to basically in real time listen to my growth, to listen to my thoughts, to revalidate that what I think, or the journey and the path that I'm on, is a good one and it's successful. And I'm grateful for that. That's one of the wonderful things about documenting my journey. And I appreciate all of you following along and listening and hopefully learning and growing with me. It makes it wonderful, and it makes me feel good. And it also gives me motivation to continue. So today, louder, louder, louder from the cheap seats, for the cheap seats, for all of these people who have spent time and invested their minutes on me and listening to what I have to say. I have talked a long time about toxic cesspool world and the poisonous water in the pond that people are swimming in. And, it gives a lot of fodder for lessons. It gives a lot of content and topics to discuss with all of you, and even within your first world, or just even by yourself, to ponder the things that hold you back, the obstacles that you must endure. And, we are all victims of circumstance. We all have things that we have no control over, things that happen to us that we don't choose, And there are also a lot of things that you can choose. And social media toxicity and the participation in that is a choice. I mean, you make a choice every day to engage with people who are invested in dragging you down to the bottom of the toxic pond with them. They're giving you concrete shoes and inviting you to jump in and join, and you're choosing to stick your feet into those concrete shoes, knowing damn well that kind of behavior is probably going to be self-defeating, right? And I've seen a lot of people jump on that bandwagon because they still feel the need to have other people validate their choices. They still need to be a part of the cool kids crowd. And, you want a participation trophy, you're going to get it. I see a lot of people going, well, if you don't listen to so-and-so and you don't, follow their truth, you can go fuck yourself. Well, I'm telling you, it works both ways. If you're participating in drama and you're proliferating in the toxic pond, then you can drown. And that's your choice. But I don't have to, and good people do not have to continuously try to drag themselves down with you and keep saving your ass when you've chosen to participate in that behavior, when you've chosen to swim in the pond. And make no mistake, it's a choice. You have a choice. You do not have to comply. You do not have to engage. You do not have to participate in anything that you don't want to, regardless of what the sociopaths, the narcissists, and the other people that are telling you. And that kind of entitlement is garbage. It's absolute garbage. It's immature. It's preschool. It's high school. And it's stupid. What kind of clout chasing garbage is necessary for you to feel like you belong in a toxic pond? And people are shitting and pissing in that pond everywhere, and people are eating it up and swallowing the water. And then later on going, oh, I was taken advantage of. You made a choice. People have expressed how you need to conduct yourself in your first world. You've learned that from being a child. You've learned honor and values and morals and how to be a good human in your first world, only to come over to a virtual world and throw all of that out the door and the window for what? To be part of something bigger, to validate your existence. And there are people who are counting on that. And they're preparing the concrete shoes that you're choosing to put your feet into. And you're like, oh, but they're pretty shoes and everybody wants them and they like them, so I'm just going to stick my feet in them willingly. You're going to drown. The scorekeeping, the gatekeeping, all of the friends telling friends how to run their channels and spend their money and who they can talk to. It's a choice. You can tell them to either go fuck themselves. It's my world. I make choices. Or you can dive headfirst into the toxic swamp and wonder why you're drowning. But people are tired. They're tired of watching it. They're tired of, all of the entitlement and the victim crying and shaming and all that toxicity that's going on. And they don't want to play because it doesn't make anybody feel good at the end of the day. I'm listening to people talk about making amends and apologies on a social media platform, and that's all fine and dandy, but at the end of the day, actions will always speak louder than words. And if you're blowing smoke up everyone's ass to try to save face, eventually your game's going to be revealed. People are going to see through that bullshit. They're going to go, oh, well, somebody said sorry and they want to make amends, but they're still participating in the same behavior that they not too long ago admitted was wrong. You know, all the actions that these people are telling me is, "Wah, feel sorry for me." Well, I can't feel sorry for you when you willingly put your feet into the concrete shoes that are sinking you. I'm sorry. I'm not buying. I'm not buying into that narrative of you must follow me and I might help you out. I'm sorry, it doesn't work like that. I enable and work hard on my own stuff, because then nobody can hold it against you and say, "Well, look what I did for you." Doesn't work like that. If you work really hard in your first world, in your second world, in your virtual world, that pays off. And there's proof. You know, it might not reap the rewards as quickly as you wish, but nothing that's handed to you for free is of value if you didn't work hard for it yourself. It's an empty victory, and everybody's striving for it. Why? Nobody's going to be the next big thing. Nobody's going to be the next superstar, the next, Grammy Award winner or Oscar winner in the virtual world. It happens to so few, but those people have worked very hard. They've worked super hard to get where they are. And if you think you can just snap your fingers and ride that wave and basically clout chase and trash other people because it makes you look better, you're going to wear the concrete shoes that eventually drown you in the toxic swamp. But if that's your choice, you can choose it. But eventually you're going to cry so much that people are going to be like, "Okay, later for you." I'm not saving people who keep dipping their feet into bigger concrete slabs and then pretending that it's somebody else's fault. You're victimizing yourself and then crying about it later. And to me, that's a preschool tantrum, and it's ridiculous. And I'm sorry, but I'm an adult. I have goals, I have dreams, I have things that I want to do, and I have people who are supporting that every day, helping me feel good about my choices. I can present all of that, and I'm successful because of it. Not because people are blowing smoke up my ass, not because I'm participating in the toxic cesspool. I have opinions, and I'm human, and I make mistakes. Absolutely, we all do. But it seems like there's a group of people who spend more time trying to skirt their responsibility and avoid their accountability because they're afraid to admit that they're human and they have to be right and they have to be the best and they have to bury everyone who's around them who competes with that. For me, it's about encouraging people to stay humble, to be transparent and vulnerable and be accountable. Does it suck sometimes? Yeah, it absolutely does. Being vulnerable sucks. It brings up emotions that nobody likes. But if you keep your boundaries and your expectations clear and you clarify with the people around you what you mean and you back up your actions or your words, with actions, to prove that you mean what you say, it builds your character and your reputation. It doesn't tarnish it with, "Oh, well, this person cried wolf 6 months ago," and they're still participating in the same behavior. The old adage, fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me. You don't have to participate in that. And if people aren't accountable for what they do, and are trying to gaslight you and turn it around and make it your fault, you're allowed to stand up for yourself and say, "No, I'm accountable for this part, which I did, but you're accountable for yours." And if they choose not to do that, then maybe it's time to reevaluate their place, their position, where they stand in your world, whether it's in a social media environment or if it's in your first world. I've done lots and lots and lots of content about all of the subjects that I've briefly mentioned here. And allegedly, it's a shameless plug for you to go back and listen to it. I do it when I need a boost, when I need to remember that reacting is not the best policy, but responding is. I will go back and listen to the words that I've given myself and all of you, and start from the beginning and try to realize if this is the world that I'm trying to create for myself of being the best version of myself, or am I just getting taunted and lured to the new concrete shoes of the month, of the week, of the day, the flavor that people are trying to use to entice you back to the toxic swamp. That's not my world. There's a big ocean out there to swim in with lots of beautiful fish and beautiful, life. And it's exciting and it's new and it's wonderful. And it doesn't have to be one option of the toxic swamp. I'm packing my bags and bringing my douche yacht to a bigger ocean, folks. Allegedly. No one can read your mind, and expecting them to be able to do so is foolish, which is why I've made my expectations clear. I've established boundaries with people. If your actions don't speak louder than your words, I don't have time for that. And everyone wonders why I'm happier than they are, or I'm more successful than they are in my first world, my second world, on social media. Because I don't have to care if people don't like me. I don't have to care if people don't listen to my stuff, and I don't have to care if people want to talk shit about me. Their opinion of me does not validate who I am. It doesn't speak about my experience, and it sure as fuck doesn't teach me any lessons just going, oh, well, this person said that I'm this thing, and I just have to believe it and stand for it. I'm not participating. I don't want the toxic cesspool trophy. I don't want the participation trophy for participating in stupid. But there are a lot of people who do, because they're afraid. They're afraid of doing their own shadow work, of learning about their own behavior and accepting responsibility for it and how it affects them and the world around them. It's real easy to jump on somebody else's choo-choo train and not have to worry about how you're going to pay for or support its production. You're not shoveling the coal. You don't have to. You get to sit at the fucking caboose and sip the Kool-Aid that people are handing you. But not realizing that as soon as they realize that you're not helping or you're not doing what they want you to do because it doesn't serve them, when they stop at the next train station, they're just going to let your caboose go. And they're going to leave you behind. And then you're going to be stuck in the middle of nowhere with no engine. And what are you going to do? Cry? Well, they left me here. You chose. You chose to sit in the caboose instead of learn how to shovel your own coal. Keep your boundaries and your expectations clear. Be transparent. Be vulnerable. Be accountable. I can't scream it loud enough for the cheap seats, for the people who continuously want to just drown in the cesspool. And for what? Does it make you happy at the end of the day? Because if it doesn't make me happy, I dismiss it. If it doesn't serve me, I don't have to eat it. I work hard. I support myself. And I support people who make me feel good at the end of the day and are there to support goodness, kindness, love, compassion, the things, the values and the morals that I want in my world. Not signing up for the concrete shoes. At the end of the day, people, you know how it goes. Wash your fucking hands. Be a better human. I love y'all. I got a busy week. I got things to do. I got a life to live. Take care of yourselves. Love each other. Be compassionate. Again, wash your fucking hands.